How do you fix something like this, though? I mean, without just wiping out the entire department and starting from scratch? Because, yeah, you got three or four. God knows there's probably a handful more in there. Um, but not everyone. I'm sure there's fine people in there that are there for the right reasons. But that's not everyone, clearly. And then you have everybody else in the ecosystem that aren't officers, that work in the office, that answer the phones, that dispatch, whatever, all the different pieces that keep the thing alive. And if you pour, you pour water onto sand, and if you had it like in a glass vase, you can see it just, it gets down there eventually. There's some parts
Mhm.
that stay dry and some parts that are wet. But if you really want a bunch of dry sand, you can't just pour that thing out and hope you're going to get much dry sand, because everything has been affected one way or another by the water. I feel like that's the case with something here with these bad apples. A lot of them are towards the top. A lot of them had a lot of power, and there's still many that do have power. Um, these other two officers have not been arrested as of yet. They say it's an ongoing investigation. They are just allegations. They're innocent until proven guilty. So we'll let that play out. But again, it took many years for this guy to get arrested too, and it took a civil case from the parents. It took feds getting involved for them to finally go, maybe we have a problem here, or maybe it's like, people are going to hear about our problems here. How do you fix this? Because it's not, it doesn't seem as easy as just, so let's shovel out a bit of the wet sand on top. It's like, yeah, it gets a little drier down here, but it's still, you can still tell it's been affected. How do you fix something where it runs that deep?
Um, like you said, it's going to take outside investigation to find. It's like a wart to me.
Hmm.
You have one little virus and it's got all its tendrils, and so there's going to be a couple viruses in there that's going to take some interviewing, open, honest interviewing by outside people, so people don't feel there's going to be reciprocity against them. So it's going to take some outside interviewing for objectivity to identify the couple roots, because I guarantee you it's only a few people that are creating a culture
Hmm.
of negativity like this, and then it spurts down. So you have to identify and just get rid of. You just have to lop it off, and it's going to take someone from the outside, people to feel safe to share that kind of information, and then y- it's a tricky thing to understand, and then it's a re-education that's got to go on then too, because by and large, people want to do well, they want to do right, and they're going to want to conform to the norm that in which you're in, the group think. And so you have to reshift that group think, and that reshift in a group think comes from good, healthy leadership from the top, and it's got to filter down. And the most critical thing in a situation like this is the fear of reciprocity for being truthful is got to be very, very well done, because you have to get people over that fear. Because again, fears are motivation for everything. If people are in fear, they're going to either shut up, conform, or go away.
Hmm.
And so when you have that bad leadership from the top, that's what they're doing. They're either shutting up, conforming, or going away. And now when the new leadership comes in, people underneath them have to understand what was done was wrong.
Hmm.
There's no being, as I told you before we started the show, Gavin DeBecker's book, The Gift of Fear. When you're dealing with unhealthy people and you get in unhealthy patterns of behaviors that are wrong and abhorrent, got to be blunt. There's no letting them down easy. No, this is blunt language used here. This was completely wrong, inappropriate. They're gone. Here's the new standard, and either you're on board or not. And but you give time to adjust. So you got to lop it off at the top, be patient, have the big thing, because remember, it's not just the department itself, it's trust that the community has in that department. So we must be incredibly transparent and open and vulnerable, where we can say, here's where our blemishes are to the community, here's exactly what we're doing to fix it, have open forums, have discussions, because the community needs to be involved in this process, in the healing process. Otherwise they're going to continue not to have faith and trust in their organizations that are supposed to keep them safe.
Yeah. It's gonna be a lot of work for that community
It is a lot of work,
and
but it's
re-education.
and I'm sorry to cut you. It is
No,
the righteous good work though,
no,
because we can't be safe without it.
no, that community won't be safe, without it. Do you think people in that department were surprised by this arrest? I mean, you already publicly had a civil case going on. You had the rumors, you had all of this, and yet stayed there, stayed employed. I mean, is it one of those things where as humans, if you're working in that department and you're not one of the bad apples, and I hate that term, But if you're not one of them, but you're hearing these things, is it just the human nature of like, it can't be that bad? Rumors get spread. Rumors are this or that, but he wouldn't be doing that. That wouldn't be that far. Do you think there's some of that goes on as to it almost that attitude can kind of enable this sort of stuff because people don't want to necessarily believe the absolute worst in the people that they surround themselves with every day.
Interesting word choices in there. I think, surprised by the arrest, probably. Surprised by the behavior that led to the arrest, probably not.
Mhm.
This was going on a long time, and what happens is when people are exposed to negative, bad behavior for a long period of time, they become accustomed to it. It becomes their norm.
Yeah,
Kind of like even the Gilgo Beach murderer, the serial killer. That family
yeah,
got very used to a pattern of behavior of really bad crap, supposedly.
yeah.
And so it becomes the new norm. And so this department had a norm that is happening inside because these girls were groomed a long time by at least three people,
Yeah.
at least allegedly. So
Allegedly.
that's so I think what happened was when there was an arrest, that's what the shock was, not the behavior. The arrest was a shock. And I'm hoping, because I mean, I put myself in a situation, this is where we use our deep, great empathy here. If that happened where I'm working in a place that I have to work because I have to provide for my family, I want to do the righteous work. I'm a good person, and I'm one of these people that's just kind of, trying to turn a blinder and hoping that it's going to get better. And all of a sudden I see an arrest, you know what I'm feeling? Thank God.
Yeah.
A sigh of relief that the end might be in sight and we might be able to correct this. So I'm hoping by these arrests, it's going to inspire the good ones to rise up and take the leadership roles that they've always wanted.
Mhm.
That's what I'm hoping here. Because I guarantee you there's people that are
Yeah.
breathing a great sigh of relief, that are ready to step up and ready to take control and take charge and right the ship that's been so wronged.
Let's hope it happens for the sake of everybody there.
Yeah, me too. I'm a glass half full kind of guy that
Yeah.
it can be fixed.
Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Be sure to follow us wherever you download podcasts, and especially Apple Podcasts, where you can get advanced episode and premium content on our premium channel right there. Also, be sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss any breaking updates on the stories that matter to you most. We're on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Brueski, and you'll find us right there. Again, thanks for watching.